This is a Whirlpool 2-in-1 removable agitator washer. It is 2023. It's a pretty new washer, been in, I believe, Lowe's, and we've had it a few months, and we started getting mold and mildewy stuff in smell out of the bathroom, and so we had to take the whole thing apart. So if you have a bazillion tools lying around, and you have pipes everywhere and water going everywhere, and you have tools all in your sink, then you're probably doing something right. So I didn't know what I was doing because there was no video out there. So I'm to this point now, I'm going backwards, but I'm going to go ahead and talk through it just a little bit to give you a chance to get to this spot. So to get the whole thing off to start with, you're going to have to take off this little plate right here. It's in the back. It's got those two screws right there. And then there are, it looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of those. And they have a little star head like that. Use that little guy to get it off. It looks like it's a T15 size, and that will get it off. And it does work for all of them. And then those come off of the plate is somewhere covering this guy right here, and then there is a there's another metal plate right here that goes across the whole back. I think that has to come off. Maybe not. And then there are 2 screws here, 1 and 2, and that will release pretty much the entire top. So that'll kind of loosen your top. It hinges forward, so it comes up like that. And once you hinge it up, there's 2 little things that'll just pop right out. So hinge it up and you lift the whole thing off. Before you do that, you're going to need to get this off. That's going to be those screws that I told you about that are in the back. That will release that guy. And there are pins. These little guys you're going to have to pop. You can lift the back. Once you get the screws out, you can lift the whole entire lid forward, and you can have to put your hands up underneath there and pinch like crazy. Maybe with a screwdriver you can push it back in, but you're going to have to push these in and pop it out like you do some of the other models. You have to pinch that really tight. There's another one right there on that side. But those need to be pinched, and that will release this entire thing. Okay, that whole thing will come off. And then you'll see your circuit board, which I have no idea where mine's at right now. Maybe it's on this. I have no idea where it's at. Oh, it's in my kitchen. So these 3 wires are going to need to be come off. You just pinch. You're going to need a little socket wrench to get this guy off really easy, and then you're going to need to pinch these out of the circuit board. Okay, I would recommend taking a picture with your camera before you do it, just so you know where they go back, and what direction they go in, so you don't reverse them or anything like that. And this little tube, I guess this is a fabric softener, maybe. I don't have a clue. And this just pulls off really easy. So these guys will hang there, and that will release the whole entire top. There's nothing else connecting it, so you can take that whole thing off. And then you, like I said, you lift it forward. You lift the whole lid forward like this, and then you can just pull it off, and you're good to go. And that'll give you access to the drum. And the next thing you're going to see on the top of the drum is this guy right here. This is going to be sitting down in there, and this is the side with a fabric softener, so that goes on that side. I think I have it upside down. Maybe I had it right the first time. I think I had it right the first time. So it'll be something like this down in here around the edge, and then your silver bin will be in the middle. So there's these little on the outside. I'll show you one right here. You see these guys right here will go over a bunch of these little plastic pins on the side. There's about 8 of them, maybe, I'm guessing. You have to pop all of those. You can do it with a skinny screwdriver, a skinny flat screwdriver. You can pop those. You can do a first couple with your fingers, but they get a little tighter after that. Just be careful because it's plastic, so you don't want to break those. And this whole thing will pop off. Okay, so set that aside. And then you will be left with your bin. And the bin will sit down in, here, obviously. And in this particular model, kind of weird, this little guy is actually, so there's the inside of the bin. This guy is going to sit right down over the top like that. So you're going to have that in there. And there's a cap that's right here with two little holes in it. And it is right here. So this little cap sits right there because that's where your beater bar, I guess, or whatever, goes over the top of it and connects in. I had no clue. I saw those two holes and I was thinking I would never give it off. So I stuck a skinny screwdriver in there and just kind of popped it, and it released those two pins. Be really careful. You do not want to break that, obviously. It's kind of dirty in there already. And then just be careful when you pull that out because you don't want to break those off. That would probably ruin that function of your whole washer. So I got that off, and then this, I think, it was a nut on top of that. Once you get that this little top off, you set that aside, and this nut is going to be sitting right there. Okay, and the size of that nut is 7/16. So you're going to need a 7/16 socket for that one. And then you get that off, and then you're thinking, yay, it doesn't have one of those weird drum wrenches needs. And then you pop that off, and you go, oh crap, because you just realized that is down there in the bottom. So there you go. Then you're going to need this guy, and that's the one that you have to have the special drum wrench to get off, and I do not own one. So you can get real angry like I did, and I didn't really, but I've taken a few of these off before, and it does work to take a hammer, and it's on like that, and basically in these little slots I stuck my screwdriver in here and hit it with a hammer, the side of a hammer, really hard, as you can inside the drum, and eventually it will loosen slowly. Or you can purchase one off of Amazon. I think you can get one including tax and shipping and everything under $20 if you want to do that. It's a tool you're going to probably use less than 3 times in your whole life, and then maybe give to your neighbor once or twice. So there you go. And then once you release that, then you can pull. This entire drum will come out. Okay, so that's the easy part. Or it's not super heavy. It does have liquid in it. That's something I always have to remind myself. Let's see if I can hear it. Here you can hear mine. There it is shifting. That is actually supposed to be there. If you didn't know that, there's supposed to be water in your washer. So if you think it's retaining water and it sounds like a bunch, it's supposed to be there. It's to help with the balance. I didn't know that, but that's part of the design. That's supposed to be in there. And then once you get that off, you pull the bin out, and then you get to this. This right here is where you're going to see all the gunk around the edges on the outside. Mine is clean now. I cleaned it off, had gunk all around the outside. I've only owned it about 4 months. We have 5 people in my family, and I've owned it about 4 months. And it got pretty yucky. I even used the spin cycle, this clean spin, and that didn't work. So now I have ordered some washing machine little pellets to help keep it clean, I guess. So, and if you notice down in the bottom of this bin, there is it's recessed. It goes down in, and I think that design should work using the spinning of the machine to get it all to go down in here, below there. And you can kind of see the little holes to go down in here. That's where all the liquid should flow. So this entire thing was filled with gunk, and it stunk like mildew really, really bad. So if you tilt your washer up from underneath and you think that's the issue, you should be able to see the mildew underneath in this spot. Unfortunately, you can't get to it from underneath. I tried. So I just had to take the whole thing apart, clean it, and I'm putting it back together. This right here, do take that off. Go ahead and take that off. This little piece will come out. It'll be really dirty on the underneath side. Go ahead and clean it with a scrub brush, put it in the dishwasher, whatever you got to do to clean it. This nut is really easy to get off. It's just a small one. It might be, let's see, that little nut right there is sorry, I can't read it, too small. I really can't read it. It is 1/4. It's 1/4, I think. So you can try to take that out pretty easy. Be careful if you're using a drill not to overdo it, because you will break it. It's all plastic. Be very careful. And then clean it out, and then you can reassemble. I think that's it. 10-minute video. There you go. Hope this helps somebody, and good luck.